A woman named Nina survived a Nazi labor camp and helped all my dreams come true. I am Oksana. I was born in the former Soviet Union and I came to America when I was 22. Nina lived in Smolensk, in Russia. She was just 14 when they found out that the Nazis were going to bomb their city. Her father was an engineer at the railroad station, so the railroad workers put their families on the train to escape the city. So Nina, her brother, mother and father got on the train. When they got far enough, the train stopped and everyone came out to rest. Little did they know they were right where the Nazis had broken through the front line. Tanks began to approach in the distance and the front tank had this big red flag. Of course they started waving. They thought it was the Red Army, but what they didn't see was the white swastika. Next, they watched with horror as the Nazis began to burn the train, and they even shot Nina's dog. Nina was taken away with other children to a forced labor camp in Zweibrücken, Germany. The older people were sorted and then sent to different forced labor camps. But worst of all, Nina's father collapsed with a stroke and died that very day. But God protected Nina's life and she was put in a labor camp as a factory worker. She was required to wear the Ost badge all the time. Nazis called workers like Nina who came from the East an Ostarbeiter. When she injured her arm at the labor camp, it led to a blood infection. The good thing is this German doctor who worked at the camp, he cured Nina's infection. The doctor and his wife hated to leave her at the labor camp because she was so beautiful and she spoke German very well, so they took her as a housekeeper. Back in Russia, Nina had learned German at school, and more than that, her family had a housekeeper who spoke German, so Nina had practiced with her. There is no way Nina could have known how her ability to speak in German would help her. The German doctor and his wife allowed Nina to go to the movies, so Nina and her friend covered up their Ost badges so they could get inside, and the German manager at the theater pretended he didn't see their badges because he needed money. Sadly, the German doctor was drafted into the army, so the Nazis sent Nina to another family to work as a nanny. The family had small kids and one teenage daughter who didn't have friends, so she often came to Nina with her secrets. But she looked down on Nina because Nina was not a German, and one day she told her, "But do you understand you are inferior?" Of course it hurt Nina, but she had no choice but to keep silent. When this family had to quickly escape the bombing, the children were killed on the way. So this left Nina alone again, so the Nazis sent her to work on a farm. When the war was over, the British and Americans entered Germany and began to free the people. The Americans tried to persuade Nina to go to America, but she said, "I want to go back to the motherland." Nina was now 18 and she found her aunt in Kazakhstan and went to live with her. But life was still hard. The Russian government suspected that the labor camp survivors were in cooperation with the Nazis, so Nina had few choices. But she chose to study languages, so she learned English and became the best English teacher in my home city of Semipalatinsk, Kazakhstan. Can you believe that my mom would become Nina's favorite student? This is where Nina came into my life. Before I was even born, Nina told my mom that she would teach her child English. Nina gave me private lessons 6 days a week for free. When everyone else was sleeping in on Saturday, Nina was teaching me at 8 in the morning. Even in the summer, I whined, "I am so tired of Nina. I want to sleep." But neither of us knew that one day I would live in America, but God knew. I felt I was Nina's only student because she taught me for free. She used to tell me, Oksanka, while other kids are playing outside, you are preparing for my lessons. I learned self-discipline from Nina. I didn't know that when I grew up, I would love students so much. And now when I make math videos, I pour my heart out and I think of you as the only student I have. Even when I was in college, Nina was still teaching me lessons for 13 years. Not only that, Nina's son and his wife were both scientists, and they helped me with physics and calculus. My dreams began to come true when I had a chance to translate for a handsome American visitor. We fell in love and decided to marry. Imagine Nina, who could have died in a labor camp, became my English tutor. When I married and moved to America, I called Nina every week and thanked her for helping me so much. She would ask me, "Are you happy?" I would tell her, "Very happy. I have a great husband and 2 beautiful children. I live in America and I love what I do." Those were my biggest dreams. Because Nina taught me English, I am able to connect with you and with anyone all over the world. Heaven became closer to me when she died at 88 years old. And when I go to heaven, I will run to Jesus and Nina will be there waiting for me by his side.